In this video, we are going to discuss fraction, decimal, and percentage. Let's use a simple example to discuss all three of them. So let's say I have a cake. The shape of the cake is a square. Let's draw a square. The shape of this cake is a square. So this is what I am going to do. I am going to cut this cake into 4 pieces. All right, and I am going to take one piece. So I am going to take this piece. So how do you write a fraction? This is how. So first we draw a fraction bar, and then we are going to put a number below the bar, and that number is called denominator. How many pieces do I have? I have 4 pieces. And then how many pieces did I take? I grab 1, right? So, and then I have to put a number above the fraction bar, and that number is called numerator. So since I grab 1 piece, so that will be 1 divided by 4. All right, and then how do you put that to a decimal? So 1 over 4 simply means 1 divided by 4. That is equals to 0.25. So this one is a fraction. This number is decimal. And then how do you convert a decimal to a percentage? I take 0.25 multiplied by 100. So that means you take the decimal point, move the decimal point 2 steps to the right hand side. That equals to 25. So 0.25 is the same thing as 25%. All right. The concept is like you have $1 bill, right? You have a $1 bill, and then you want to divide this $1 bill into 4 pieces, or I should say you want to divide this dollar bill into 4 quarters, and you take one of the quarters. So since you have 4 quarters, you grab 1. That means you, out of 4 quarters, you grab 1. All right. And how much is a quarter worth? A quarter is worth 25 cents, right? So 25 cents is 25%, which is a quarter of a $1 bill. What if I grab 2 pieces? Let's grab 2 pieces. So I'm going to have the same cake. So now I'm going to cut the cake into 4 pieces. I'm going to grab 2 pieces, this piece and this piece. So out of 4 pieces, I grab 2, right? So that means I grab half of the cake. So if you don't want me to shade that piece, I can just quickly erase that for you. So instead of taking that piece, I will just take this piece. So now in this picture, you can clearly see that I just grab half of the cake. So this is 2 over 4. 2 over 4 is the same thing as 2 divided by 4, which is equals to 0.5. So 2 over 4 is a fraction, 0.5 is a decimal, and the percentage, you take 0.5, which is the same thing as 0.50 times 100, so that is equals to 50. So 2 over 4 is the same thing as 50%. Now 2 over 4 is 50%, right? So 2 over 4, this is a 2 over 4. So 4 is the same thing as 2 times 2. So as long as you divide the top and bottom by 2, so 2 divided by 2 is equals to 1. 4 divided by 2 is equals to 2. 1/2. 1/2 is equals to 0.5. 1/2, right? 1/2. Half of $1 is 50 cents. So 50 cents. And then 50 cents is 50% of $1. So that's the relationship between fraction, decimal, and percentage. So let's take a look at an example. So in this example, I am going to convert a fraction to a decimal. So this is how we are going to do it. We take the numerator divided by the denominator, round the decimal according to the given direction. So this one, I want you to round everything to 3 decimal places as necessary. So the first value is 1/2, so that is part A. So we already did that one. So that is 1 divided by 2 equals to 0.5. But 0.5 is 1 decimal place. How do you do a 3 decimal place? Easy, just do 0.5000. No. 20. So this is 3 decimal places because I keep 3 numbers on the right hand side of the decimal point. And then part B, I have 1 over 4, which is a quarter, right? So that is equals to 1 divided by 4. That is equals to 0.25. If you want to keep 1 more decimal place, simply add a 0 on the right hand side of the 5. So that's how you do it. And then C is 3 over 4, so 3 over 4, so that is equals to 3 divided by 4, that is 3 quarters, right? So 0 0.75, keep one more 0, so 0 0.750. So that's how we convert a fraction to a decimal. And then part D, we have 2 over 5, so this is 2 divided by 5. 2 divided by 5 is equals to 0 0.4, and then you want 3 decimal places. If you write 0 0.4, no one can take points off, but sometimes, let's say you are doing a homework online, sometimes they would like to see 3 decimal places, then you add 2 extra 0 on the right hand side of 4. But if you do everything on paper, this is perfect. If someone force you to use 3 digits, then this is what you have to report. Like I said, GPA. Let's say your GPA is 4, 4.0. You don't say my GPA is 4, right? What's your GPA? My GPA is 4. My GPA is 3. You don't say this. You say my GPA is 4.00 or 3.00. All right? And then part E, so we have 6 over 25. So part E, we have 6 divided by 25. So this one, you take 6 divided by 25. That is equals to 0 0.4, right? 6 divided by 25. Just type 6 divided by 25 in your calculator. Oh, by the way, when you type this in your calculators, especially a graphing calculator, they do not use this division symbol. They use 6 divided by 25. This slash means division. Is equals to 0 0.24, keep an extra 0, then we make that 3 decimal places. And then F is 14 divided by 35, so you take 14 divided by 35, and you have 0 0.4, so that is equals to 0 0.4. So 14 divided by 25, let's put two zeros there, 14 divided by 35. So the 14 divided by 25, so 14 is 2 times 7. 35 is 5 times 7, so since they share 7 in common, so if you divide the top by 7, 14 divided by 7 is equals to 2, 35 divided by 7 is equals to 5, so 2 divided by 5 is also equals to 0 0.4. This one we just reduce the fraction. All right, so 14 is 2 times 7, 35 is 5 times 7, divide the top and bottom by 7, you get 2 over 5. And then part G is 70 divided by 120. So part G is 70 divided by 120. So you take 70 divided by 120. So do this in your calculator really quick. So you should see that 70 is not divisible by 120, right? Because you have 0 0.58 followed by a bunch of 3s. Right? That means 70 is not divisible by 120. So since you have to keep 3 decimal places, then we will just keep these 3. This is not greater than 5, so we are not going to add a 1 to the 3. So this is approximately, use the sign, equals to 0 0.583. And then the last one is H. So H is 5 over 2. So that is equals to 5 divided by 2. 5 divided by 2, $5, you cut that into 2 pieces, so you get $2.50, right? So $2.50, that is perfect. If you want 3 decimal places, then simply add 2 more zeros on the right hand side of 5. All right, so that's how you convert a fraction to a decimal. Before we end this video, I also want to tell you that in statistics, sometimes you have to use a complex fraction. So complex fraction. Complex fraction is simply you have a fraction divided by another fraction. So let's say you have A divided by B, A over B, and then the whole thing over C over D, a fraction divided by another fraction. You can write it like that, or you can do A slash B, C slash D. So this is a complex fraction. You have a fraction inside another fraction. All right. It doesn't have to be a fraction on top and bottom. You can have A over B divided by C, or C or D divided by X over Y. Okay, as long as you have a fraction, 1 or 2, inside a big fraction, then the whole thing, we call that a complex fraction. So how do you divide fraction? So we take the top, a over b, multiply the reciprocal of the denominator. So reciprocal, that means you swap the position of the numerator and denominator. So c is no longer on top. So that is equals to a times d divided by b times c. So let's do a quick example. So let's say you have, let's just perform the division. So let's say you have 2 over 3, and then you want to divide it by 4. That is the same thing as 2 over 3 multiply the reciprocal of 4. So 4 is equals to 4 over 1. The reciprocal of that, you swap the 4 and 1, so that will be 1 over 4. Then you can simplify the 2 and 4, so that will be 1, and then 3 times 2 is equals to 6. All right, so now I am going to give you 3 complex fraction. I want you to convert that to a decimal for me. Okay, so first, I want to give you I want to ask you to convert 1/2 divided by 5 over 6. So that is 1/2 divided by 5 over 6, which is 1/2 multiply 6 over 5. Reciprocal, the 2 and the 6 can be simplified. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So you have a 3 over 5. So 3 over 5 is the same thing as 3 divided by 5. That is equals to 0.6. And then b, I want to try, let's say 4 over 7 divided by 9 over 7. So that is 4 over 7 divided by 9 over 7, which is 4 over 7, multiply the reciprocal. So the 7 got cancelled. We have 4 over 9, and then you take 4 divided by 9. 4 divided by 9 is equals to 0 point a bunch of 4, right? 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. And then the 4 repeats forever. So if you want to keep, it depends on the problem. Do you want to keep 2 decimal places? If so, then we keep the first 2. So we say that is approximately equals to 0.44. All right. And then let's do one more. Last one. 2 over 3 divided by 14 over 45. So that is 2 over 3 divided by 14 divided by 45. And then we take the reciprocal, 2 over 3 multiply 45 over 14. And then let's do some simplification. So 14 divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 14 divided by 2 is 7. And then we have 45 divided by 3, which is equals to 15. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 45 divided by 3 is 15. So overall, that equals to 15 over 7. So 15 over 7, and then you take 15 divided by 7, and then that equals to, that 15 is not divisible by 7. You get 2.14, 2857143. That's what I see on my calculator. So depends on you, how many decimal places do you want to keep. So let's say you want to keep 4 decimal places. You want to keep 4. Since 5 is greater than or equal to 5, you add 1 to the 8. So you say that is approximately equal to 2.14. 8 plus 1 is 9. So that's how we go from a fraction to a decimal. So that will be all in this video. If you think my video is helpful, click the like, subscribe, share this video out for me. I appreciate your help really much. I see you all in the next video.